Welcome back to Ready, Set, Go Fish. I've had a lot of questions about this tank here. This is 265 gallon acrylic peninsula tank. I built this a few months ago. It's basically done. This is what both sides of it look like. I've taken the doors off the other side. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Did a lot of things right. Definitely made a few mistakes too. So I thought I'd just walk through the system and show you guys what happened here and what I've learned from it. So let's start here. This is the pump chamber. It's a good size pump. It's a Higer. I can't remember. I think it was 3,000 gallons an hour or something. Plenty big. You should always get a large pump for a large DC pump. If you look at it, you can see it's using 50 watts now. If you press the up arrow a few times, it goes to percent mode. So I run it on about 78% most of the time. That seems to be working for me right now. 50 watts. So super efficient, adjustable. It's very handy. So this tube here, this is the water coming back into the system. I drilled a hole in the top, and this comes straight down, and you can't see it, but it comes down over here. It tees, it goes to a female threaded piece, and then I have these 3/4 inch locking, what do they call them? Spray nozzles, I think. So that works okay. Not super proud of that, but it's getting the job done. So I also have this DC power head here off Amazon. It's kind of a cheap one, but it's doing the job as well. No complaints. The water comes back into the system primarily through this pipe here. This pipe goes into this bulkhead. The bulkhead is smooth, there's no threads, and it allows you, the PVC is just sticking in it, and it allows you to adjust this height as needed. So if the water evaporates a bit, you can lower it. If you've just filled it, you can raise it. If the water height gets to the height of this second, this one's a little different configuration. It's just a 90-degree piece, an elbow. If it gets to this height, then it will become like a surface skimmer type situation. So I don't know, it's kind of like a poor man's Overflow, but it does the job similarly to how I did this tank over here, which I've been pretty happy with. So it's a Herbie type design. There's 2 pipes. This one is running full siphon. Like you can see, there's no air going into it, 100% water. These pipes just go straight down. They come back into the stand here. Those are the universal adapters, which allow you to move the tank easily if need be, disassemble it. So I built these little blocks. If you look, each block is a little bigger than the last. It probably falls about 1 inch and 4 feet. And honestly, that's not quite enough. I would have made it 1.5 inches in hindsight. That's a little hard to get a siphon started sometimes, but it works. The configuration of the sump, I did quite a bit of research into this. Looked at a lot of designs, and I'm pretty happy with this one. The idea is that it has this initial chamber. The water flows right into the chamber and then straight back out again, and it waterfalls off. And in here, sorry, you're seeing me more than anything else. In here, there are 3 layers of sponge. There's a blue, a green, and a black, 40 ppi, 30 ppi, 20 ppi. And that water overflows into here in a highly oxygenated form because of the waterfall. That it sits on top of this kind of stuff, like fluorescent light grates. So there's some PVC pipes under there scraps of pipe, then the grates, and then there's a nice area where like detritus can collect. Makes cleaning really easy to have a bit of space right there. Then the water goes down here and comes up here. You can see the heater in the front, but you know, almost all of this is just open. And this area here is highly oxygenated water. It flows into ceramic media, ceramic rings, nothing special. Once again, they're sitting on this fluorescent light grating. And the water comes down here and it goes underneath this baffle and it comes back up. And this chamber is the one that I'm most interested in personally. So I have two kinds of media. This bottom media is Eheim Substrate Pro, and the top media is Sump Matrix. And they're both designed to work best in an anaerobic environment. So you put them like last in your system when the water's been still for some time. That tends to have less oxygen in it. And in that scenario, there get to be little pockets of like very low flow environment. Like inside these medias, it's extremely porous, and it's able to cultivate like a special kind of bacteria that will actually consume nitrate, which is a complete cycling of the aquarium, and theoretically can make it so you don't have to do water changes. So that had my attention. You know, I don't know if it's all hocus pocus or not, but I bought a bunch of this media and I put it in this tank as well. And this tank is a nitrate factory. Like, they produce so much of it, and I went from doing weekly water changes, like every 7 days, to doing every 10 days, and I have lower nitrate levels. So I'd call it like a 50% improvement so far. And honestly, that was when I had like all of this media in that tank. And now I have half the media in this one and half the media in this one. So this right here is probably like $100 worth of media, maybe a little more. I got a lot of this Substrate Pro. I got it like on special at Amazon. It's more affordable than the Sump Matrix. But people do like the Sump Matrix, so I don't know. It's all a big experiment for me, but I hate doing water changes, so I am looking for ways to cut down on that. And if you think about it, like if your time's worth very much to you, like spending $100 on media to do, I don't know, a third fewer water changes over the course of a year, what's that, like 20 water changes maybe? Like that's not an insignificant amount of time. So treat yourself, guys. Get some good media, see what happens. Oh yeah, one last thing. So one feature that I like best about this system is this steel stand. It's 2-inch tube, the top part of it, and the legs. So like the perimeter of this, and these legs, that's 3/16 inch wall. And there's some other pieces, including the bottom perimeter, and like these top pieces that go across. Those are all 1/8 inch. So this stand is big. Like one person can't move it very well. It's super heavy. Oh, and fun fact, when I was putting the stand on these pads, you can barely tell, but it's on a pad that fits perfectly. I like missed one and filled up the tank, which I did not realize at the time. So this giant ass tank is sitting on basically 5 legs. So pretty wild, huh? It's a very, very structural piece of steel. I guess my welds are good. So I was pleased about that, because honestly I wasn't sure it would be as strong as it is. But that is the test, man. I'm gonna fix it soon, but until I do, it is holding firm for now. So one cool thing I did is I cut these doors, and I cut them, so it's kind of hard to show you, but there's these little blocks of wood that fit in just right there. Sorry, it's kind of hard to do one-handed. But it all is magnetized. Here's the other door. There's magnets like in the corners, and these blocks of wood just like keep it in the perfect place. So I don't know. I thought it was pretty clever. We've got a baby, and he's like into everything. So I'm sure he'll figure out how to get into this aquarium stand someday, but not yet. I think we've got a few more months at least. Anywho, I'm pretty pleased with it. I might do a few things differently next time, but for now, this is definitely the best work I've done on an aquarium. So happy to share it with you guys. I appreciate you all watching. Until next time, happy fish keeping.